for me.
Love you.
Aw, thanks. I love you too.
Hey guys, it's Ghost Queen. So today I'm finally continuing on with my series 13 Reasons Why, where I discuss certain people in the paranormal I like and respect and support, and certain people in the paranormal I think you should be a little bit wary of. So the ebb and flow of these videos has been thus that I do a positive video and a negative video and back and forth for balance. Life is never 100% positive and it's never 100% negative. It's a balance of both, and that's life. So I wanted this series to sort of reflect that. And I have been on pause with it for quite a while because I had to make the next video for my dear friend, Scary Larry, aka Moses, aka Larry Bailey. I love that his last name is Bailey too, because it just makes me think of It's a Wonderful Life, which is like my favorite Christmas movie. I watch it every year. Whew. So I've got my fan here in case the waterworks start. So that's why I've put off making this video for as long as I have, because I knew it was going to be a tough one for me. And of course I was going to include Larry in my series anyway. I was going to actually make him the last positive video that I did, but I'm doing it now because I just couldn't continue on with this series until I made this video. And I couldn't make the video until I felt like I could kind of keep it together a little bit and not have the waterworks start up and get crazy. So, yeah. Good friend of mine, someone that I really cared for. And although we never met in person, I know if we met in person, we would have been great friends. Larry's the type of guy that I have a lot of respect for, and, you know, he was a man's man. And I like men like that. I had men like that in my life growing up, and, yeah. Both of my grandfathers were military men. They both served. My paternal grandfather, I was actually going to care for him in my own home before he passed. I didn't get a chance to do that, but he was a man's man all the way. Hard worker, worked his whole life, did the right thing, stayed married, raised 3 kids, in the Boston area and whatnot, 2 sons and a daughter. And then, my maternal grandfather, same thing, he worked his way up in a manufacturing company, supported his family well, they were fairly well off for the times, and certainly he spoiled all his kids rotten. They all got really everything they wanted, and they even adopted a child from within the family. So it was 4 kids, 3 kids of their own, and then they adopted a blood relative. And they didn't do that legally, it just happened. Like, that's what you did back then. Yeah, so, I have a lot of respect for men like that, family men that work hard, take care of their family, do the right thing, stick by their wives, all that stuff that we don't see as much of nowadays. Larry was into motorcycles, which has always been a passion of mine. And although I don't ride myself, My own father rode motorcycles and was into that. That's a kind of culture that not a lot of people understand or get unless they've been involved with it. And yeah, I really liked Larry. He was always a good friend to me, and he got absolutely, fantastic spirit communication. Good man, good friend to everyone. And I think it's just, I did watch him really decline over the last few years of his life, and that was sad to watch too. I know he dealt with a lot of chronic pain and a lot of health. I mean, let's face it, he had a lot of health issues. That can make you very cranky and curmudgeon-y and short-tempered, and he went through that at times, and he had his rants and whatnot, but he was also a sweetheart, really a sweet guy. And I saw him be there and be a friend to a lot of people. And he was always a friend to me. So, really loved Larry. His loss was sad for all of us, but of course, we're not the ones that most affected. It most affected his own family, and I have a lot of compassion for them. And I've become friendly with his daughter Raquel, and she will always have a friend in me. That's the type of person I am, and she's a wonderful, sweet lady, and I already love her. This is how I am. I can't help it. That's just how I am. Ooh, I'm going to try to make sure the waterworks don't start. Let's get the fan out. Anyway, Raquel has a lovely little daughter. So, yeah, he was a great guy. I was going to make a video for him anyway. It probably would have been at the end of my series. Really, if I look at the two men that influenced me most in the paranormal, it would be Shannon, Mortis the Wizard, and Larry, Scary Larry Moses. At the start of my whole paranormal thing, my whole paranormal adventure. And that's not including, like, let's say, Ghost Adventures or Zach Bagans or any of those people that I watched on TV. I'm talking about people I knew and interacted with in real life. So me being me in the way that I think, I would have had them bookended. One at the start and one at the end. That's just how I am. My brain, I process things differently, and I think a little bit differently than other people, and that kind of balance is sort of important to me. So anyway, that's also why in this series I'm doing, both negative and positive videos. I like balance. That's how I am. So yeah, I really had a lot of respect for Larry. I certainly had a lot of love for him. As I say, he was a really, really good friend. And it only it pains me that he didn't stick around a little bit longer. I would have liked to talk to him more. I'm sorry now that I didn't share with him more about what was going on in my personal life, because I don't know what he thought, and I hope he didn't think anything. I hope he didn't get the wrong end of the stick in some regards regarding me and my personal life and some things that are going on in my personal life. But now I know he knows everything, where he is as far as that's concerned, so so that's a relief. But yeah, you know, I don't feel sad for Larry. Larry's on to his next big adventure. I don't feel sad for Larry. I feel sad for myself, and I feel sad for his family. I always, my compassion is always for the people left behind, not the people moving on. Although, having said that, I had a lot of compassion for Larry and what he was going through. I know it was really hard for him, and I know he was struggling. That's why I did try to hop on anytime I saw him go live, or I tried to comment every time he made a video because I knew he was struggling, and I did care about him. So I wanted him to know, he had friends that cared. When you feel isolated and alone, it's easy to feel like you are alone and that nobody knows or notices your pain or what you're going through, whether that's physical pain or emotional pain or whatever it is. It's very easy to feel alone and to feel isolated, and to lose hope, And I think a lot of people struggle with that, and sometimes all it takes is knowing, sometimes even just knowing one person sort of gets what you're going through. That can be huge to people sometimes. And that is the sort of benefit, I guess, of the internet nowadays, is that I do think it helps some people feel less alone. However, there's a flip side to that, as with everything. So, but I'm just going to focus on the positive for right now. I think Larry did some fantastic research. He didn't view himself as a researcher, but he was. And yeah, I think we were all blessed to have known him and to have had a friend in him. And I know I'm going to miss him a lot, and I know a lot of other people are going to miss him a lot as well. And like I say, I do have some regrets that I wasn't a little bit more open with him and chatty the past couple years, but I forgive myself. I've had a lot going on. Life gets busy, and unfortunately, we're only dealing with a limited amount of time and energy every day, so you can only do what you can do. But I do wish I had reached out a little bit more. Yeah. So, maybe that was a lesson I needed to learn. So that's it. This is my video just to honor Larry, my little homage to Larry. Scary Larry Moses, who certainly I learned a lot from him, and I know a lot of other people did as well. And he was a huge part of this paranormal YouTube community, and a really good part. I think I'm certainly not going to place any blame on anyone, but I do think it was probably a really sad disappointment for him that, in the end there, unfortunately, with the internet the way that it is, we can meet all sorts of people, and the internet is a place too where people can sort of be whatever they want to be, and they can make up stories and live their lives via fantasy. And unfortunately for Larry, he came across somebody who was doing just that, and I think that was probably pretty sad for him. Because I think that's so outside of what was his scope of understanding of people. Like, he just probably couldn't empathize too much with that type of thing, because it's just not something he would ever do. So, yeah. Anyway. I hope his family will always keep his videos up. I can see myself wanting to watch them again someday, you know, further down the line. And I think, you know, those videos, you know, still are valuable, still have good information to offer people. And, yeah. I do hope his family will keep the videos up. I look forward to getting to know Raquel more as time goes on. I know she loved her dad very much, and I really like her. She's my type of chick. So I'm really glad I got to know her a little bit, and like I say, look forward to getting to know her more. And yeah. If you're someone who's new and you haven't seen his videos, I definitely recommend that you check them out. A lot of information in those videos. So that's it, guys. It's a very, very rainy Monday here. I think we've got a lot of rain headed our way. I quickly checked the forecast and saw like a week of rain yesterday, so I think we've got a lot of rain. I'm going to use this rainy day to make a couple of videos, and I'm going to do a couple of little projects here at the house. I'm going to clean out my makeup drawer, wash all my brushes, and yeah, do little projects like that today. So yeah, I might be putting out a couple more videos today, but I needed to be able to kind of move forward and continue with this series, and that this video has had me sort of paused with this series, so I needed to get it done. Proud of myself. I think I've done fairly well. No big waterworks. I actually started making this once already, and the waterworks started, so I had to stop and start a new video. I'm a big old softie. You know, a lot of times people who have like a real hard exterior and who might come across as sort of prickly and brash and harsh, and it's because we're protecting the soft little underbelly, you know, like a hedgehog. So I'm a crier. I'm a big crier, and very rarely would you see me doing that publicly. I don't let a lot of people see that vulnerable side of myself. So, of course, Wayne sees it. He lives with me, and we're a couple, so he sees that. My children see it. Other than that, not a lot of people get to see that side of me all that often. Yeah. So, I hope everyone has a great Monday. I hope everyone has a great week, and it's Columbus Day also. I don't have a lot to say about that. Just acknowledging. And sorry for the handheld video, but just have to cope with that today. And I think that's about it, guys. I know I, for one, am really going to miss Larry. And I know a lot of other people will as well. And he was just a great guy, a good man, good friend, good paranormal researcher. And I know he sort of like had this view of himself because he didn't leave the house and didn't go on like investigations, that he didn't really matter or he didn't count. But that's not true. It's not true at all. He had a lot to offer, personality-wise, and I think he had some really, you know, important research too. I think he did a lot of research in this field, and he did have a lot to offer. So yeah, certainly, like I say, if you're new, you should check out Larry's videos. There's a lot in there, a lot of information in those videos that has a lot of value. So, just a terrible shame, for a terrible loss for the paranormal community. But I'm glad that he is no longer in pain and suffering. And yeah, that's it. Larry, love you, miss you. And if you can see me right now, which I know that you can, thank you for being my friend. Whew. You saw me through a lot of mornings. Stressful mornings. That's it, guys. I was okay till the end there. I'll be back with some other videos, and of course Wayne and I will be streaming again this weekend. And be well, be happy, be safe, be healthy, be kind, be generous, be forgiving, and say everything you want to say, because you never know what day is your last day, and you never know what day is the last day of your loved ones. Don't wait. Okay, guys, until next time. I can't even do it with one hand. I bid you adieu.